What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen, and in today's video, I'm doing 3 thrift flips that include a display box, some home decor, and some holiday decor. If you like thrift flip, DIY projects, or budget-friendly DIY craft videos, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. You'll find that right down below. And don't wait, just hit subscribe and then tap all in the bell menu so you'll be notified about all my video uploads. Now let's just get right into these 3 thrift flips. I picked up these pieces back in early October. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do, but had a few ideas. And hi, can you believe these prices? I spent less than $9 for all 3 pieces, and everything I'm using to transform them is stuff I already had on hand. Like I said, budget friendly. I got started with this sign. The board is warped to hell and a bit sticky, so I washed the piece off camera, then I used my 220 grit sandpaper to rough off the top layer. I tried not to think about why it was sticky considering the word I'd be covering up. Yeah, ew. Anyway, this isn't getting a lot of use once I refinish it, so I didn't go down to the raw wood. I just wanted some tooth for the latex paint to adhere to. While the first coat dried on the sign, I moved on to the candle holder. I did the same with this, first scraping off the sticker. Then I took a damp rag and wiped it down with a water and vinegar solution. Even though I didn't plan to paint the inside, it was gross and needed a good scrubbing. Gold doesn't really fit with our Christmas decorations, so I grabbed my acrylic craft paint in silver and added a thin directional coat. I love this silver paint. It shines brilliant at the right angle, but it's also pretty sheer. So it almost works like a glaze without needing to be thinned down. I'll add Amazon links down in the description for everything I'm using in this project. While the paint dried, I got to painting hunter green on 2 pieces of vellum paper. These are cut to size-ish. Close will do until I'm gluing them into place. Next, I set my tree candle holder thingy aside to dry and got started on the tray. And again, I prepped the piece with sticker removal, cleaning with vinegar and water, sanding with 80 grit to really get it toothy, and finally wiping the whole thing down. I planned to fill in the handles, but honestly didn't have a freaking clue how I would do it. Then I remembered I had this basswood piece in my stash. I took rough measurements and used an X-Acto knife and cutting mat to get everything to size. Of course, things were a scotch off, so I gave the edge a quick sanding until it fit snug. I marked the wood for height, cut everything down with the X-Acto and straight edge, did a bit more perfecting with the sandpaper, and dry fit the wood. There we go. I pulled out my trusty Aleene's wood glue and hoped it was still in good shape. This is a pretty old bottle. You can see the old packaging here, but it still worked great. I used a generous amount and spread it out to all areas. After adding the wood pieces, I used some painter's tape to clamp everything together. I repeated the steps on the other side and set that aside to dry. The sign was dry enough, so I added a second coat. Then I jumped back over to the candle holder and got started on the vellum. I had to screw around with the length, width, and even rounding out the corners, but after some trial and error, things seemed to work how I wanted. I cut down all 4 pieces and used my Aleene's clear gel tacky glue to secure the vellum into place. repeated that 3 more times. So sorry, but I already lined up everything off camera because I really just wanted to make this as efficient as possible, and you guys definitely don't need to stick around to watch me like line up stuff for a year. I'm just gonna use these, they're called 1 1/4 inch spouncer plaid. I've never heard of that before. And this is the only time I'll be able to use this stencil most likely because it is a paper stencil. I tried going with a gray edge. I hoped it would give an aged feel to the letters, but as you can see, that idea lasted about 11 seconds before I realized it looked terrible. I covered it up like it never happened, then finished a second thin coat on both letters before pulling the stencils. And I had a bit of cleanup where I leaned a painted finger down on the blue paint. Then I popped back over to the tray. You can see here that I added more pieces of the basswood to the inside. I'm planning to use this as a display holder for photographing smaller handmade items, so it needed a shelf. And I love how it turned out. Stick around until the beauty shots to see how I'm using this thing. I gave the whole piece 2 full coats of matte black acrylic craft paint. Since the L and the E were dry, I could get to the O and the V, but I'm keeping the O a secret until beauty shots. After giving the V a good coat, I realized my other stencil would cross over it, so I had to wait. Seriously, man, dry time is the killer of DIY progress, you know? Anyway, I shifted to the sides and added this rope stencil, which gave me an awesome idea for how to finish off the piece. But first, I pulled out my favorite Modern Masters Decorative Painter's Dead Flat Varnish. I gave 1 coat to the tray and the sign before I put those finishing touches on the sign. Thankfully, I found the drill and bits in our garage stuff pile, and I even managed to drum up a couple of clamps. Score! I used painter's tape under the clamp so I didn't damage the finish, then drilled 2 holes at the top, 1 at each end, about 1.5 inches in from the top and side edges. I graduated sizes of bits to prevent splitting the wood and used painter's tape to prevent chip out on the finished face. Then I pulled out a roll of 1/4 inch sisal rope and finished things off. perfect was the compass acting as an O in love, right? I'm super excited with how all 3 of these thrift flips turned out. I just love taking some old, worn out decor and turning it into new home decor, especially when I can turn it into holiday decor in a budget-friendly way. Considering where the sign started out, I'm super stoked with where it ended up, and it will definitely grace our front hall for a very long time. I also love that candle holder for its simplicity, and it matches perfectly with our holiday decor now, so that one is another win. And shockingly, the tray was a win too. I don't really know how long that little shelf on the inside is gonna hold up, considering the bond there is just wood glue to paint, but for my purposes, it works perfectly for now. What do you peeps think? Like the video if you like thrift flips like this. Or like the video if you hate thrift flips. I'm not picky. Leave me a comment below and let me know which one is your favorite. I kind of like them all equally, but for very different reasons. If you made it this far into the video and you're not already, don't forget to subscribe right down below. Then do all the things you need to do in order to get notifications about all of our videos. I like to post videos on Friday mornings and some Sunday mornings and would love to have you over here to join our fun time party. We're also on Instagram where I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so I will link to everything down in the description. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Later, peeps! Yeah, I'm literally not. That's not going on camera. Okay, so. Yeah, see, this is what happens when you craft. Sometimes things turn out so bad, like last week's project, and then other times things turn out like you couldn't have even imagined how good they were gonna actually turn out because you anticipated that they would turn out like last week's project, but here we are. That's not happening. I am being stabbed by this Christmas tree though. Now let's jump. I don't jump into anything that's ridiculous. I hate that term. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. All right, hate's kind of a strong word, but it's really annoying. Now let's just, I'm not gonna dive either. If I'm not gonna jump, I'm not gonna dive. Okay,